Hey everyone, this is a collection of clips and interviews Jared and I filmed in the 1960s and 70s of one of the social movements that swept across America during a vital time. This is the feminist movement.
We met some pretty amazing people during this process, and we were so glad to, in a way, be part of this movement. It was an incredibly inspiring time period. Many people wonder about these movements suddenly happen. They don't just start, events pile up, and eventually the time is ripe for a revolution. A big reason why it was possible was due to the economic boom after World War II. Two-thirds of the new jobs in the 1960s went to women, and two incomes became critical for a good life. That sounds good, right? Well, the fact that women were stuck with low-paying, clerical, and administrative work did nothing to help the growing dissent.
So, let's travel back some 50 years to the start of everything. Enjoy.
It's May 9th, 1960, and history has just been made. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has just approved Envoid, the first oral contraceptive pill.
I'm here with this stone called Fox, who has some pretty great insight on the pill and what it means for modern women.
Excuse me? What did you just call me?
Well,
this pill is pretty great. It's safe and opens the door to countless possibilities for working women today. Women can now complete years of study and launch their career without worrying about an unwanted pregnancy. Let me tell you, with this new drug, more women will be applying to medical, law, and business schools. And you know what? It gets rid of that nasty double standard that allows premarital sex for men and not women.
So, you mean a lot more women will be having premarital sex?
I mean, the antiquated idea that men can have sex but women can't is long gone. People need to understand that sex is a part of life. If I want to have sex with someone, I should be able to, especially without the fear that I will get pregnant. Women shouldn't have to live with that fear, whether it be with their husband or a lover.
Hello viewers, we are here waiting outside the airport for Sherry Finkbaum, whose plane has just landed. I think I see her coming now. Hello? Sherry Finkbein?
Yes, hi, that's me. How can I help you?
Hi, I'm documenting the people and events of our rapidly changing country, specifically the women's movement, and I'm interested in your unique story. Would you like to take it inside for an interview? It's getting a little bit nippy outside. All right, thanks for joining me inside. It's much warmer in here. You might want to take off that sweatshirt.
No, I think I'm good.
You sure? You don't want to take it off?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. May you tell us where you're coming back from?
I'm returning from my brief stay in Sweden. My husband and I had to go all the way to Sweden in order for me to get a legal abortion.
Why exactly did you want to have an abortion? And why'd you go to Sweden in order to get one? Why couldn't you just get one here in America?
I wanted an abortion because my child wouldn't have had a good life. Unaware of my pregnancy, I took pills containing thalidomide, which can hurt the child development. I was scheduled for an appointment here in Arizona, but it later got canceled, and then the rest of American hospitals refused me to get an abortion.
I'm so terribly sorry to hear that, Ms. Finkbein. Do you think that it was fair for the court to decide that it could not make the hospital give you an abortion?
I believe that every woman should have the right to get an abortion if she wants one. Every woman should be able to get one if she does not want to have a kid, but especially if it's a more valid reason for not having a kid. This baby would have been my fifth. It would have had only one arm, and it would have no gender and no legs, and it wouldn't have been able to survive at all. Why would someone force me to go through the pain of birth just to watch something suffer so briefly and see it die? It was not fair to decline my right in deciding if I was to have another child or not.
Very valid point, Sherry. I hope your story impacts those in our country who disagree with abortion, and hopefully one day, all women here will be able to make the choice you made without having to travel out of America.
Yes, so do I.
Thank you. It's a great scene here in Washington, D.C. President John F. Kennedy just created the President's Commission on the Status of Women and appointed our past First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt, to oversee it.
This is Stacy Woodhouse, a member of this commission. Stacy, what does this commission plan to do?
Well, this commission is aiming to explore issues relating to women and to make proposals in employment, policy, education, and federal social security.
Best of luck to you all.
Thanks!
Thank you for joining us here today. We have a very special guest with us, the one and only Betty Friedan, President and founder of National Organization for Women, better known as NOW. Betty has recently written a book that's sweeping across America and changing the America's perception of women. Betty, can you tell us more?
Sure. Why, thank you. I'm very happy to be here to share the buzz. I've just published The Feminine Mystique, a compilation that is very much the start of it all. In my book, I explore the role of women in our society and break down the myths surrounding our gender. I've finally faced the problem without a name, which of course is the collective unhappiness in my sex. Most American women, despite their cool and calm exterior, are suppressed and forced into subservient positions to men, financially, mentally, physically, and intellectually. This, of course, then leads into an overwhelming feeling of depression.
How can that be if no one has come out about this before?
A great question. Throughout our history, women have always been expected to bear the unbearable in silence. We just recently gained the legal right to a voice, but women still are expected to be only a mother, wife, and housewife. These limitations stop women from progressing to their full potential and often halt any fulfilling sense of achievement and self-worth. We hide behind a mystique of exterior content, hence my title, but on the inside we are burning in a fiery pit of self-loathing and depression.
Wow. Well, this has been truly eye-opening. I hope to read this book soon myself and better understand this mystique. Thank you so much, Betty, for your time.
Thank you for yours.
No problem. Today is history. Today, for the first time in our existence, every American citizen stands on equal terms. Today, on July 2nd, 1964, our President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1984, Title VII, which reads as follows. It's unlawful for an employer to fail or refuse to hire or to discharge any individual or otherwise to discriminate against any individual with respect to his compensation, terms, conditions, or privileges of employment because of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin.
Tell me, please, how you feel about the new legislation.
I support it full-heartedly. I believe every human being, whether woman or man, white or black, Catholic or Jewish, should have the same rights and privileges. So yes, as a woman, I support it for my sex, but also for my race.
Well, thank you for that. I look forward to seeing the impacts of this bill in our near future.
Me too.
We're here with Special Agent Drew of the FBI. Agent Drew, thank you so much for doing this interview.
It's my pleasure.
I was just wondering if you could talk a bit about the feminist movement.
That movement.
I take it you're not a fan.
Ha! You can say that again. The women's movement is part of the enemy and a challenge to true American values.
Isn't that a bit extreme?
Extreme? They are the ones linked to extremist movements and are potentially violent. I wish they would just go back to cooking and cleaning and leave their crazy ideas in the closet.
Do you think that the movement will die down pretty soon?
Definitely. There's no way that they can continue acting like this and expect to get away with it.
Well, thanks for your time. Only time will tell.
Well, ladies, and mostly gentlemen, we are here today at the Miss America pageant of 1968. What was supposed to be a beautiful fall event has turned into an upheaval of order and decency.
Yes, it seems feminist protesters have gathered here today to denounce the sexual component of the contestants and the entire organization.
Here's a short clip of protesters outside the pageant now.
No, Miss America! No, Miss America! No, Miss America!
Well, more news on this later, but for now, America is shocked.
Woo! Woo! Pro-choice! 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 Kill Mike!
This kind of strike is pretty common now. These women are demanding the legalization of abortion. Excuse me, could we ask you some questions?
Yeah, sure. Of course. First time at a strike?
I've been to more than you would expect. We're actually making a documentary, and I was wondering if you could talk a bit about the strike.
Oh, of course. Well, when we strike, it's always for a number of reasons. Today we're focusing on legalizing abortion, but sometimes we focus on issues like rape, domestic violence, and sexism in general.
Have you heard about the Miss America protest?
Oh yeah, I was there. It was great. We really focused on the objectification of women.
Okay, get back to your strike. Thanks for your time.
Pro-choice!
I'm here in New York City and happened to bump into the one and only Ellen Willis, founder of the Red Stockings of the Women's Liberation Movement. Hi, Ellen. Can you explain to everybody what exactly your group does and what it hopes to accomplish?
Sure. The Red Stockings were formed here not too long ago by an intellectual woman with one common goal. We are the ones who hope to actually push the women of America into movement for equality by taking legitimate actions. There's no time to sit back and wait for our own rights to be legally recognized. Although other pro-equality fighters may not approve, with our more aggressive and diverse approaches for our cause, What we do will impact the public on a much greater scale. Whether we are making public speakouts, arranging heated public demonstrations, or even performing street theater, we are the propaganda for a quickly changing society.
Don't you think that your group's tactics are too aggressive and perhaps denounce the role of women in society? How will these actions actually move the fight for women's equality forward?
Well, Jared, in a matter of fact, I do believe in it. For far too long, women have sat idle, but now it's our chance to seize the moment. Desperate times call for desperate measures. We do what we do because even though our actions are small, they make a big impact.
I'm here with Gloria Steinem, one of the leaders of the women's movement, and...
Oh, I'm not a leader of the women's movement.
No?
No. The media likes to pick out certain women to be leaders, like Germaine Greer and myself. We provide an attractive example of feminists that don't fit the stereotypes of rigid, ugly, man-hating shrews. But in actuality, the women's movement is a non-hierarchical one. We do things collectively and experimentally.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but there seems to be a divide between the younger and older generations.
Yes. The younger generations of feminists is starting to view now as stuffy and out of touch. The older generations tries to distance themselves from what they view as the so-called bra-burning, anti-man politics of orgasm. I think it's ridiculous. We all have the same goal. I wish we could just all get along and get over our differences.
I agree.
Well, we learned many things from the feminist movement, and it truly was an experience documenting it as it happened.
One of a kind.
And we're very glad that it happened, and
Very glad.
we're very glad that you joined us today. Very glad.
Quality.
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore, and I